There's a 100 mAh 3.7V LiPo battery inside it, a charging connector and on-off switch in the back, as well as 4 LEDs in 2 different colors, one on each rotor arm, making flights in the dark very possible. I've covered pocket quadcopters, wallet drones, quadcopters in a box, whatever you call them, before, and as far as these go, the pocket quadcopter stands as one of the more complete, thought-through solutions. Just as with all of them, the transmitter can store the quadcopter inside it, but this one also offers a compartment in the back for storing spare propellers and prop guard. You even get a strap for attaching the whole thing to your bag or backpack, because despite its name, it's unlikely to fit in your pocket. In the back, you'll also find a charging cable. Yes, you can charge the quadcopter off the transmitter's batteries in the field. This is convenient and, it should be noted, can be pulled off, although rather awkwardly, even while the quadcopter is stored inside the transmitter. Where does the batteries go when basically the whole transmitter is used for storage, you ask? There are 4 AA batteries required and they go behind these black pieces here, 2 on each side. Pretty nifty. But wait, the original ideas don't end there. Thanks to its symmetrical nature, the transmitter can be turned and used upside down, thereby catering to both Mode 1, right-hand throttle, and Mode 2, left-hand throttle, preferences. I find this very clever, and I'm surprised it's the first time I'm seeing it done. It's just too bad it trips on the finish line in terms of execution by not remembering which mode was recently used, instead starting in Mode 2 each flight. Instead of having removable sticks like other implementations of the carry-along idea I've tested, the Pocket Quadcopter have solved the height profile problem by instead miniaturizing them. While no means a complete failure, I'm not exactly in love either. You don't get a great sense of precision and they're a little bit slippery. I do hear they are replaceable though. Speaking of things I'm not exactly in love with regarding the transmitter, the trim buttons. They are present, but I find their placement very confusing. Let's say the quadcopter drifts forward and to the left. Which trim buttons do you press? Taking the Pocket Quadcopter airborne, it's easy to see why people have recommended it to me. Once you get used to the unusually short sticks, it reveals itself as a solid flyer. There are only 2 rates, which I've named Quite Fast and Real Fast, and the yaw rate changes when you switch between them. Because of its speed, my conclusion after trying it both in and outdoors is that it's better suited for the latter. Although it works fine indoors, it just feels a little misplaced in too cramped environments, like a sports car on a go-kart track. It's really unfortunate it doesn't come with a proper beginner's rate as well, since it could otherwise, at least based on the flight characteristics alone, have been recommended to just about anyone. Flips are tight and reliable, but the Pocket Quadcopter have an annoying habit of giving extra throttle after completing the maneuver, supposedly to help the pilot compensate. This gets really frustrating indoors when you tend to either hit the ceiling or trying to avoid just that, end up shutting off the throttle mid-flip, in turn crashing instead. The usual rule of thumb of nano quadcopters, to be high up when flipping, does not apply with the Pocket Quadcopter. With a fully charged battery, the Pocket Quadcopter offers around 5.5 minutes of airtime, including a generous LVC warning, which is respectable. It feels like that maybe used to be the norm for nano quadcopters, but with the recent advances in size and features, it has suffered. Regardless, it feels good to get to fly what by nano quadcopter standard at least had to be considered a good long while with each charge. Lastly, it should probably also be noted that the Pocket Quadcopter does have headless mode and return to home functionality, controlled by what would otherwise have been the throttle trim buttons. Headless mode was all the rage at the time this was released, and I believe the Pocket Quadcopter was one, if not the first nano quadcopter to offer the feature. Anyway, I'm not a big fan. Did try it out briefly and it seemed to work fine.